Hi, my name is Deshaun Naka and I'm from Port Elizabeth. My friend Daniel and I, we went down to Something Good, as most of the locals call the place. And we went there to throw for some elf. The bait we were using, it was quarantine, some cut bait and some pinky, a bit of a mixture. It just depends what we had just to fill up the bait. The conditions, there was a slight westerly blowing, but it was a coming in tide. During the spring tide, as you can see, the waves were quite rough, but otherwise the elf usually bites despite any conditions. Most of the time they're there. And that's it. Okay, it's got okay. Okay, anyway, we're fishing at Something Good in Port Elizabeth. Okay, that should be alright. Watch bait. Okay, nice throw. Small pickers, hoping for another elf. Oh my goodness! Woo! But wait. Oh, chilling. Ah, and it's on. Oh. There's a lot of small pickers around, seems like it. I think my bait, yeah, I feel my bait's gone. It's on. Haha, chilling. This is a good legal size one. Definitely over 30. Let me just measure him to be sure. 35. 45? 55. Okay, that's one. Guys, okay, so I'm going to be doing a catch and cook today on Shad / Alf. I'll be preparing a fish curry. As you can see, we have some mustard seeds, some bay leaf, curry leaf, chilies, onion, turmeric, ginger and garlic, masala, some grounded up tomatoes, thyme, coriander / dhania, and then the fish. You start pot on on a fairly low to medium heat, as you can see, and then once it gets hot, you add about so much oil. It's about, I'm not exactly sure how much, but this is how I usually measure. It's roughly about 100 mils. So you just wait for the pot to get hot. You should be able to feel. You just throw your oil in first, just to let it heat up. Then you just wait for that to get hot. Then you throw in your mustard seeds and your bay leaf. It's about a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Okay, so once your oil's a bit warm, then you can throw in the mustard seeds and the bay leaves. You can hear it, you can see it's bubbling a little bit, and there's a bit of a crackle. You usually do this just so it opens up the flavors from the inside. You don't have to mix it around too much, just to spread it a little bit. This is 1.5 onions and 1.5 chilies, and just a couple curry leaves. Until it starts popping like that. That's exactly what you want. And you can just give that a quick stir. Like I said, it's 1.5 large onions and 1.5 chilies. The chilies, they're there for taste, so you can add a little bit more if you wish. It's up to you. It depends how spicy you want your food. Most importantly, don't overcook your onions, because when it becomes like that brownish color, it becomes quite bitter. Then it's pretty much pointless. So you just let this cook for say 5 or so minutes. Just give it light stirs. As you can see, that's cooking quite nicely on a fairly low heat. Fish curry is quite a delicate curry because fish obviously it's not the toughest meat. It all still depends what fish. But shad is quite a delicate fish in the curry. So then I'll explain why we keep the skin on and then the spinal bone in as well. You'll see we have ginger and garlic. My mom usually mixes this. It's roughly a 2 teaspoon garlic to a 1 teaspoon ginger, and then you just grind it up and you mix it. So you can see like the oils and stuff being released. So then you add your ginger and garlic mix in. Then you add a half a teaspoon of turmeric. I think people also call it bari if I'm not mistaken. So just half a teaspoon. It's just for color and some flavor. And then also masala. It's about a level teaspoon of masala. Not a lot. It also, you go on taste. Some people like more masala, it just depends on you. But then also it depends on a type of masala that you use. So you can see this is a nice basis for your gravy. All the colors bonding in quite nicely. And then you can smell the masala and the ginger and garlic coming in fairly nicely. So just give this another 2 minutes just to simmer. So you can see how consistent the cook is on the onions. I'm not sure how nicely the camera will get it, but you can see there's no burnt parts and everything is a fairly consistent color. This is tomatoes. It's 5 large tomatoes. When you crush them, well, liquidize them is a better word. In the machine, you usually cut them into little slices. You don't put the whole thing in, otherwise it doesn't mix. With skins and everything, and then you just mix it. When it gets to a very watery, consistent little color like this, then it's perfectly thrown. And this forms the basis of a nice gravy. And this is where the main cooking process happens for your lovely young chutney. It's quite a slow process, so I'm not going to video the whole part, but you normally give it between say 15 to 20 minutes to cook. Just make sure you mix everything in before it simmers. Just get everything mixed. Very nicely mixed. Then you just let this simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. You can actually cover it. And as you can see, it's bubbling quite nicely. Just cooking it off. And then something that I actually forgot. 1 teaspoon of salt. But you also do this to taste. So you start off with just less than 1 teaspoon. Then you add the sugar. 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can throw in your thyme as well. These stalks on the thyme, they're quite soft, but you can run it through your fingers through the stalk where it peels off the little leaves. A little bit of a mix. Not too much of a mix, just to get all that in. As you can see, this is cooking very, very nicely. The color is coming through. The gravy is very consistent, as you can see. It's a nice consistent gravy. But as it cooks, the gravy becomes nice and thick. But also, you'll see once the 20 or 15 minute mark reaches, there will most likely be quite a thick gravy. And if it's too thick for your liking, you can add a bit of water. You keep the skins on because the skin holds the flesh quite nicely. So when you're cooking it in a curry without the skin, it disintegrates and it's not that great. You keep the spine bone in. The spine bone also helps hold the meat quite nicely. It's almost, there's about 4 minutes left, and you can see it's thickening very, very nicely. So we'll give this another 3 or 4 minutes, then you add your fish in. Okay, So to marinate your fish, you add half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 1 tablespoon of masala. Let's have a look at the gravy. I'm actually going to add a little bit of water in. You're going to see why now. See, that's a lovely gravy. Just add a bit of water. Then you add your fish, all the chunks like this, you add them on the outsides. Just place them nicely. You can let this simmer on a fairly low heat. And then make sure you also cover the pot. And you don't mix this at all. You just let it simmer. Okay, so I just finished letting the fish sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. You can see this is perfectly cooked. And I added some black pepper in, just about half a teaspoon in, just for some taste. You can sprinkle some fresh coriander over it. There's your lovely fish curry done. Then a lovely piece of fish. As you can see, the skin holds it very nicely. There's the fish here on the side. And there, as you can see, a lovely fish curry with some rice, some gravy, 2 beautiful pieces of fish. You can see how nicely the skin holds it, how perfectly cooked it is, with some fresh coriander. And that's that, guys. Thanks.